of the dais, my professional colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. You've heard a lot about XBRL today. You must have read about XBRL. You must have visited a few sites, at least some of you. Now, basically, how we have to understand and how we have to implement that, we need to see that. Terminology also, I think most of the things you've understood, but briefly I'll just go through that. I think everybody is using all these things. We just cannot do without it. Even here we cannot switch off the mobile phones. They may be on silent mode for the speaker and the others, but we cannot do without them. But do we need to know the technical details about these? Do we need to know how the mobile functions, how email is being received in the inbox, etc., etc.? We don't need to know. Even children are using email and mobile phones very comfortably, more conveniently than we are using probably. So we do not need to know the technology, we need to know the functions, we need to know how the software will function, that is all. So don't need to be worried about it. Tags, I think, it is the basic fact of XBRL. Each and every item in the accounts, the balance sheet, profit and loss account, what we are preparing, is converted to a tag. A differentiating tag, let's say for sundry debtors. For sundry debtor or for sales, debtors, creditors, for each and every item there is a separate identifying tag. That is why it is possible to read information much faster pace. It becomes simpler also. So tag is nothing but this each item, as I'm telling you, as you can see, the city has an opening tag on the left hand side and a closing tag on the right hand side, and then in between the information New Delhi is coming. Like on the left hand side you can see human readable name and address of a company, and on the right hand side the same has been converted into XBRL. Each and every item has a different tag, an identifying tag. If I want to know all the companies in this particular city, I can select and I'll get all the cities, all the companies in New Delhi. That's simple it is. And the tag has properties. It's not about data only, it has information about data also. Like whether it is a debit balance or a credit balance, whether it is a monetary item or a non-monetary item, whether it is debit or credit, whether it is as on an instant, that is as on 31st March 2011, or during a duration, that is the financial year ended 31st March 2011. What it means, what is its definition, what is its relation with other assets or liabilities. It defines everything. And taxonomy, I think now you understand, it has been talked about also earlier. It is nothing but a dictionary of tags. When we collect all these tags together, then we get the dictionary of, which is technically called taxonomy. And in this, all the items are present, and it is generally based on a standard like IFRS. And the core XBRL taxonomy is created by the local jurisdiction, as in the case of India. XBRL India has made the core taxonomy, which is in our case C&I taxonomy. And other taxonomies in due course will be developed for NBFCs. Banks is already ready, but that will be using from the next year. And this is how taxonomy looks like. You may have seen it on the sites. If you have not, this is how the taxonomy looks like. And as you go on clicking on the plus sign on the left hand side, you get greater details. You can see this balance sheet, like sources and application of funds. Alternative way could be total assets and liabilities. Then reserves and surplus, all these schedules, etc. That information is there. Then cash flow statement, direct method, indirect method. Then all the notes to accounts. These are nothing but all the accounting standards basically. They are all in the taxonomy. When you go on further details, you can see the shareholders funds is made up of paid up capital, share application money, loan funds, etc., etc. All these sources are there. You can see. You just go on clicking on each plus sign and you'll get all these details. Capital reserve, reserves and surplus, all these details are there. Further detailing you can see like this. Like capital reserve, changes in the capital reserve, opening balance, changes during the year, deduction during the year. All this information can be provided in this manner. Fixed assets, furniture and fixtures, all the details. Opening balance of furniture and fixture, additions, deletions, depreciation, written off, all this information in details has to be given. Revenue again, very detailed information. Revenue, whether it is from sales, it's manufacturing goods, traded goods, other goods. Then if it is from a logistics transport services company, whether it is by roadway, waterway, airway, logistics. Then if it is an IT company, whether it is from hardware, software, all this detailing is there. Revenue of hotels, revenue of hospitality. If a company is there which is into different businesses, all this detailing is to be done. To what extent, that will tell you just now. This is what the taxonomy structure is. If we see it in a diagrammatically, we have a schema which defines various things. Just as in the case of income tax department, when we do e-filing, we have a schema wherein the schema defines the various elements. That is, the PAN should be there, the structure of the PAN should be in this format. All those things are there. Similarly, there is a schema file here also. Then there are various other XML files like label file, presentation file, calculation file. These files are there.